Hey Sunflowers, I'm Lynnie with Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and this is going to be an intuitive tarot reading and channel message for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This will just be general, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read. It appears to me that you're someone who's possibly having difficulty choosing between yourself, your responsibilities, and other people. You might have even recently separated yourself from someone who required a lot of your time, a lot of your resources, so that you could pour those things back into yourself and continue to grow and continue to prosper. This person could be a fellow water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or that could be how you're coming up in the spread and you're trying to understand why someone may have separated themselves from you. I'm going to speak from the perspective of the person who is doing the separating, who is doing the growing and the evolving. So if you're in the other position and you want to understand why, if you listen to this reading, by the end of it, you should have a greater understanding or greater clarity around this situation, this breakup, or this separation, whatever this may be. This is somebody who's incredibly driven to be personally and professionally successful. This is someone who is not afraid to invest their time, their energy, and their resources into that which multiplies. This is someone who is creating the life that they desire and building a future that sustains them. This is somebody who is learning how to prioritize themselves in a world where people will do whatever it takes to get what they can if they see that you have an open hand. This is somebody who's naturally very generous or may come from a big family and they're used to giving and giving and giving. And what they're trying to focus on right now is how they can, like I said, pour some of that energy inwards through self-care, through fulfillment, through whatever means, so that they can continue being productive and contributing toward their goals for the future. This person is someone who is determined to learn from all of the challenges that they face. I would consider them a perpetual student. This is somebody who can always glean the lesson from the obstacle or overcoming the obstacle or, overcoming the challenges. This is not somebody who stays down for very long. This is somebody who knows how to bounce back. Even when they're hurting, even when they're suffering, they understand that this is a part of a greater lesson, or this is a part of a greater story, or the unfolding of a greater story. Someone here has invested a considerable amount of attention and time and resources into a particular relationship that was draining them, that was absolutely exhausting them. I feel like this relationship created a lot of conflict in their life because it didn't necessarily align with their values. This person has been growing and evolving, and maybe at the beginning of this relationship, and this doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. This could be a familial relationship. This could be platonic, just somebody who's been your best friend for a really, really long time. This is something that you'll notice when you're an exceptional person and you've had long-term relationships. Either those people are going to grow with you or they're going to fall off, and the fall off is not always graceful. Sometimes the fall off comes with a whole lot of conflict and a whole lot of hard choices that you just have to make. I think that you're tired of fighting. You're tired of going against the grain. You're tired of contributing to something or anything that's out of alignment with your goals. I think that maybe when you originally started your relationship with this person, or you were born into this family, or whatever the case may be, right? It felt normal to you. It felt natural to you to be attracted to someone like this, or to listen to advice from someone like this, or to be connected to someone like this because you were on the same page as this person for a very long time. And as you've continued to grow and evolve and you have set some long-term goals for yourself, you've realized that not everybody does that. Not everybody wants to grow. Not everybody wants to evolve. Some people like to stay where it's comfortable. Some people want to be where everybody knows their name, right? Some people want to be the big fish in the small pond, and that is not you. You are somebody who has a lot of goals for yourself because you want to be comfortable. Something about being comfortable in old age. I don't know why that's coming through so strong. You really want to set yourself up for retirement. You have like some really, really hard and fast goals when it comes to being retirement age, or and like maybe you put a ton of money or you put the maximum into your 401k every year, or you're working towards that, or you're contributing to, a Roth IRA or things like that. There's a heavy financial aspect to this person. And I feel like whatever is causing you to feel out of alignment with this person or these people that you might be separating yourself from, it has something to do with the way that you see money, or the way that you value money, or the way that you use money, right? Because money is a tool. Money, to me, is not the root of all evil. And maybe there are people around you who believe that, who convince themselves that there's something wrong with experiencing material and financial abundance, right? Because that would require them to work harder, or to do better, or to contribute more of their time and energy and effort into up-leveling and upgrading their lives. And they just don't want to do that. You might be attached to somebody or connected to somebody who's comfortable exactly where they are and they don't want to move. And your evolution, your graduation to the next level is kind of abrasive to them, because they feel like, well, why are you shining a light on all the ways in which I haven't grown and all the ways in which I haven't evolved? I didn't ask you to do that. Can't you just sit right here and be with me and be the person that you always were? And your answer is a resounding no. You don't want to live in a world where people are not happy, where people are not satisfied, where people's basic needs are not met. You don't want to struggle for just the basic things. You don't want to ever be in a position where you don't have what you need because you're too busy giving it all away, or you don't have what you need because you weren't willing to be disciplined enough or put in enough work to get those things. I see someone who is very determined and motivated by their own sense of personal success, and that cannot be defined by anyone else but you. There might be other people around you who are like, well, you've made enough money, well, you've done enough, you're successful enough, you have a good enough job, enough, that's enough, right? Stop right here. Because, anything more than this, you're just being greedy. And I don't agree. And you don't agree either. You see the potential. You were able to make $1 out of 15 cents. And you're like, well, how do I turn this dollar into 15, turn that 15 into $1 million? That's where your mind is working right now. There's something that you've tapped into financially that has impacted your entire life. It could be, like I said, the way that you even view money in abundance. Maybe your attitude has shifted from a lack and scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, to where everything that you desire is coming to you. You might find that opportunities are becoming more and more available to you. You might, if you're an investor, you've found that there's this secret sauce to the way that you do things, and you're getting a return. And maybe your margins, I don't even know if these are the right words, but maybe your margins are higher than other people's. Maybe you're doing better than even people who started at the same time as you. Maybe you're understanding that you understand the language of money and you're speaking it well. Or you understand the language of success and you're speaking it well. This is something that you can't necessarily translate to the people around you, because either they can make an effort to grow past the limiting mindsets that they have, or they can stay stuck where they are. And ultimately, it's their choice. And I don't think you're trying to preach the gospel to anybody, even if you already did in the past, even if you were already trying to get everybody else on what you're on. You're no longer doing that. You're no longer going door to door trying to get your friends and family to get on board with you. You're just like, look, either you're on this train or you're not on this train, but either way, it's going this way, okay? And I'm not stopping for anybody. You are in a place where you are not worried about anybody else's feelings. You might be coming across as very cold or power hungry or money hungry or whatever the case may be. But as long as you understand who you are inside and you have your own moral compass and you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself in the process, then there's nothing wrong with wanting more and doing more. It's okay to be hungry. And maybe you're awakening that inner shark within you that was dormant for so long because people always kept telling you sharks are bad, you can't trust a shark, they're all evil and they're all bad. But sharks go out there and they get what they want in this world, okay? And it's not about control, it's not about dominance. The sharks are just sharks. They don't have to prove to anybody that they are who they are, that they can do what they can do. It's natural, it's innate, and this is an ability that's being awakened in you. And as you get closer to your more authentic self, the less you want to associate with people who remind you of the person that you became to appease the people around you, right? Maybe you learned to dim your light for a very long time simply because the other people around you were blinded by it. And they're like, hey, turn out that light. And you're like, well, this is just who I am. This is just how I am. This is just what I do. And they're like, we don't care. Figure out a way to turn it off. because it's bothering us. And maybe you did to fit in, to be, well liked or whatever. Maybe that was something that you always felt like you had to do. And so now you're coming out of that. And I'm not saying you're completely out of it, because sometimes you might still feel a little bit guilty or still feel a little bad. And sometimes you might think about the separations or the people that you've separated yourself from, and you're like, dang, did I really have to go that hard? Did I really have to do that? And I think that the universe will show you why. Okay? I'm not saying that you can't love who you want to love. I'm not saying you can't do what you want to do. I'm not saying you can or can't do anything. But what I will tell you is, if you wanted reassurance that you've made the right decisions, and that these separations or the people that you're moving away from is going to be for your best interest, I have the confirmation for you right here. You're moving through a very uncomfortable stage. But it's just like with anything new, right? The more you practice it, the easier it gets and the more natural it feels. So the more you learn and you gain that discernment, right, of who is for you, who's not for you, you can stop getting into relationships and staying in relationships or staying connected to people who don't want the best for you, who aren't motivating you, who aren't supporting you on your journey, because you don't even need that. But you would rather have nobody than have Debbie Downers and naysayers basically talking down on you and trying to distract you from this wonderful journey that you're embarking on. If you are ever concerned that you made the wrong choice, the universe will reveal to you in time that you are exactly where you need to be. You're walking the path that you need to walk at this time, and there is nothing that you need to regret, and there's nothing that you need to feel remorseful for. Anything that you're doing that's in your best interest, I feel like will multiply, and it will have a lasting effect on the community that you choose to serve. And if you don't become who you need to be, how can you fulfill your purpose and do the work that you need to do? This is what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will be with you next time.